Hello everybody, this is Nancy at Paper Moon Tarot, and I wanted to do a quick video on some of the decks that I have that I think are appropriate for the Halloween mood. There's noise back here. It's my new kitten running around with my cat McFeegle, so if you see a cat right there, or jumping up and down, that's what that is. It's a good season for cats. So I have a few decks here that I'm not seeing on other people's channels who are doing these witchy autumn decks. So hopefully some of these are a little different for you. I'm going to start with one that doesn't seem particularly Halloweeny or witchy or anything like that on the surface, but it is to me, and I'll tell you why. It's the Carnival at the End of the World Tarot. And there are two things I associate with this deck that, for me, resound with the Halloween season. First of all, the deck itself is odd. I mean, it's a carnival, so there are sort of odd images. There's our Fool, and our Ace of Cups. Here's the Knight of Wands. Just strange characters and strange creatures. Wonderful cardstock, by the way. If you have Pagan Otherworlds, it's pretty much that cardstock. But the creatures and the things going on are kind of odd. So I like the deck for that. I love this Magician. For example, there's the Page of Wands, and they're just carnival, fantasy, odd creatures, and it's the carnival at the end of the world, so I guess it's kind of a little bit beyond our ken, beyond our reality. And I just like it. I think it's a beautiful deck. And one of the reasons that the Carnival at the End of the World deck reminds me of this season is that there's a book called Something Wicked This Way Comes, which is by Ray Bradbury, who is probably my favorite author. You may know him. He's an older author. He did science fiction like in the 50s. He wrote The Martian Chronicles and Fahrenheit 451, which are both classics of science fiction. Fahrenheit 451 is kind of a dystopian novel, and he also wrote books like Something Wicked This Way Comes, which is about two boys and a carnival coming to town in autumn. He wrote hundreds of short stories, and he just has a wonderful way of describing things. Wonderful writer. But this particular book, which I highly recommend, again, is about two boys in autumn, and things are just stirring. You know how they do in autumn when the wind comes up and the clouds go gray, and it just feels like something's happening, something's changing. And the novel kind of goes in that direction, and what changes in this small town in, I think it's Illinois, and a long time ago, 30s maybe, is that a carnival comes to town, and this carnival is not normal. There are things like people aging backwards, and when they ride the carousel backwards, and things like that that are, you know, it's mysterious because these are two 12-year-old boys who read mystery into everything. You know, there's adventure in everything, and it's just that time of life that's, I think, Bradbury's trying to capture. But it's also, there are weird things going on here. It's not just their imaginations. And I just want to read a little bit from this book for you to get a feel for the writing. In the meadow, the tents, the carnival waited for someone, anyone, to wait along the grassy surf. The great tents filled like bellows. They softly issued forth exhalations of air that smelled like ancient yellow beasts. But only the moon looked in at the hollow dark, the deep caverns. Outside, night beasts hung in mid-gallop on a carousel. Beyond lay fathoms of mirror maze, which housed a multifold series of empty vanities, one wave on another, still, serene, silvered with age, white with time. Any shadow at the entrance might stir reverberations the color of fright, unravel deep buried moods. So I just love his writing. It just is so cool. So that was the first reason that I liked The Carnival at the End of the World for autumn and Halloween. And the second one is a movie that is a totally kind of cult B movie from, I don't know, the 50s, 60s probably, called Carnival of Souls. And I remember watching it when I was young, and it scared the shit out of me. And you could watch it now and probably be like Mystery Science Theater, where you sat and goofed on it because it's so old and black and white and so on. But it really is, I think it was shot in like a few days. It was very low budget, but it's really spooky. And yeah, I recommend it. You can probably find it on YouTube, or I don't know where you can find it, but Carnival of Souls. And so that, one of my favorite horror movies, reminds me of The Carnival at the End of the World Tarot. So there's one. I also have a couple of decks from Duck Soup Tarot, and the first one is the Crooked Way Tarot, and this is a lot of fun. It's weird, of course, but it's weird in a dark way. The deck sort of gives names to the different characters that, I can't even read that one or pronounce that one well, but that's like the Ace of Sticks, which is wands. But all the characters are almost like an Addams Family. This is Great Aunt Lillian, who is the Nine of Sticks. So, and of course, in a cemetery. Yeah, obviously a collage deck. Just lots of fun. Uncle Jurger. Very strange characters, and very, to me, Halloween-y, as I say, Addams Family. There's the Emperor. The Fool is named Jonathan Harker, which is the name of the character we first meet in Dracula, in the novel Dracula, who is a lawyer, I think, going to meet with Count Dracula. But anyway, so some really clever references, both in the names, these cousins, cousin Idada, one cousin, two heads, Aunt Oribund, Mistress of Sticks. So I guess this is the Queen of Wands, with her black cat, so that makes sense. Miss Emily Miss Emily Todd, Death. Yeah, these are a little hard to read for me. I've got bad light right now, but every character has a name. Victoria Gothica is the Empress, and the names are clever and the images are clever, and it's just a fun deck, and obviously I think very Halloween autumn like. So that is the first one from Duck Soup Tarot, and the next one is the Tinker's Dam Tarot. Very similar feel to it, but you know, it doesn't have the named characters, but it definitely has that sort of odd feeling to it. And darkness to the deck itself. That's the Mayoress of Water, so probably the Queen of Cups. This is very cool. So, you know, two decks that, if you're interested, Duck Soup Tarot does kind of cool, weird things. I think they have one deck that's the circus, which goes with my carnival theme. So those are a couple of decks from Duck Soup Tarot that I think are kind of Halloweeny and weird that I don't see on everyone's channel that I thought I'd share with you. Next one is one that some of you have. It's the Murder of Crows. And I can't imagine another holiday or season for this deck. This is the limited edition, which basically takes the plain edition, puts it on different cardstock, and adds red accents to it. But it's Corrado, I can't read it, Ricci? I'm misreading this. So anyway, it's the artist. And I guess this is probably a curated deck. I should have done my research on it, but everything obviously is crows. Obviously a group of crows, a collection of crows is called a murder of crows. So the deck is aptly named. But it's just got a very sort of twisted medieval, I don't know, to me it's like an Ingmar Bergman movie where medieval people are roaming the earth in black robes and death is everywhere. And even you've got the masks that they used to wear during the plague. Doctors would wear to ward things off. So if you think we've got it tough now with masks, you should try wearing one of those. But this Murder of Crows, I think, is just such a cool deck that fits the season. That's the backs of them. And, you know, come on. It's Halloween, for sure. And I don't know if this limited edition is still available, but, you know, it's a mass market deck. It's from Lo Scarabeo. So it would be available in the non-limited edition, you know, so you don't get the red, but you get the deck. Anyway, very cool packaging on this too. It's got one of these lift top magnetic, very cool boxes. Okay, and then finally, got this tarot a few months ago, and I love it. It's the Witchy Cat Tarot from Dame Darcy. And I have her Queen Alice Tarot, and I find that this one kind of reads better for me in terms of just being able to tell what's going on in the cards. And of course, it's a cat deck. It's pretty much the only cat deck I have. But it's just clever, and the art is fun. And, you know, it's called the Witchy Cat Tarot. I don't know that it's particularly scary, but it's different. And it's got lots of cats and lots of black cats. So I think it goes with Halloween. There's the sun, the sunniest card. But if you like Dame Darcy's decks, I like this one. But, you know, of the ones I've seen, she's got a Mermaid Tarot, an Alice Tarot. This one, I don't know why. It just, maybe it's not pigeonholed. I know it's cats, with people with cat tails and that kind of thing, but it's not stuck with Alice in every card kind of thing. I always find her, you know, she has pretty clear names of the cards written in big, funky print. But you know, Halloween, looks like 2 witches and 2 crows on the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, it's the Witchy Cat Tarot. So, anyway, those are some of the decks I have. You know, I have Dark Mansion and Shadowlands and, I don't know, whatever you consider kind of darker, weirder decks. But I don't see these too often, so I thought I'd share them. And please let me know what Halloween type decks you have that you enjoy, or if any of these appeal to you or you have them and how you use them. That would be great. And I hope you guys all take good care. Thanks. Bye.